Arg me hearties! Ever since Sea of Thieves was released about a week ago on Xbox One and PC, I have been playing it non-stop. In my free time, I've amassed about 30 hours worth of plundering, pirate ship battles, and adventuring. And so with all the fun I've been having, I am here to say, if you are on the fence about going out and buying this game for full retail $60, guys, I am here to say, it is not worth that at all. Please, for the love of everything that is holy in Pirate Land, do not go out and buy this game for full price right now. And I realize I'm a little late on this video. My ship took a little longer to get here than I thought it would. The game has been out for a while now, and we've all heard about the issues surrounding No Man's Sea. Essentially that there's not enough to do in the game, and now most recently PC players have been hacking the game. And so while in this video I do want to touch on some of those things since they do annoy the heck out of me, I want to bring some positive light to this game and actually talk about all the things I adore about No Man's Sea or Sea of Thieves or whatever you want to call it. And the reasons why you should play this game and be like me and play it for free. So far, I have played 30 hours of Sea of Thieves and I have not paid a single penny. And I know a lot of you know how, and no, I didn't pirate it. I'm playing it on Xbox One and having a lot of fun for free. So how did I do that? Well, let's start there. I'm still surprised at the amount of people that don't know that Sea of Thieves is on Game Pass. If you don't know what Game Pass is, it's a service that Microsoft provides on Xbox One and even PC, where for $10 a month, you get access to a library of video games. It's essentially like Netflix. And if you've never used Game Pass before, just like on other subscription services like Netflix, like Hulu, you get a trial. You get a 2-week trial upon signing up. And even if I wanted to start paying for Game Pass once my 2 free weeks is up, it would take 6 months of playing Sea of Thieves before I actually hit that full price retail that I would have paid initially. But during that time, you could have access to the rest of the Game Pass library, and I myself have already downloaded 5 other games on there, so I definitely think this is worth it. So this is a great chance to jump into this game and try it out essentially for free, or if you've used your Game Pass already, for $10 for a month's worth, and see if you do actually enjoy it like I do. Granted, it isn't that fully fleshed out, there isn't that much going on, and you do have to make your own fun, but for free or even $10, I would say it's worth jumping into this game, and let me tell you why. This is definitely a game you need to play with friends. Either friends in the real world that you have that you can hook up with over Xbox One or PC, or friends that you find in the game. I have found quite a few people in this game that are willing to buddy up and become pirate friends. I've added them on Xbox, and we go out sailing the seas together now. If you go at this alone, you might have a hard time. You'll be stuck doing just the few quests that you get at an outpost. So here's what the game has to offer. Once you spawn into an outpost. On that outpost, you have a bunch of shops where you can buy things. It's all cosmetic. You don't level up in this game. You earn gold by doing out and completing quests, and then you come back to the outpost and you buy jackets, or you buy new sails for your ship, or you buy different looking weapons, but it's all cosmetic. And that's a large complaint that a lot of people have because there is no progression, there is no leveling up. You go up in rankings in your factions when you complete quests, but that essentially means nothing other than unlocking titles, which don't mean anything. They just give you a fancy title. The quests are given to you on the outpost from 3 different people. You have gold quests where you go out with a treasure map or several treasure maps or riddles and go and find buried treasure. I actually really enjoy those, especially the riddles when you go out with friends and try to decode them once you get to the islands. I do enjoy those quite a bit, but they are extremely repetitive and they are the same thing over and over. You have quests where you have to go and kill a bunch of skeletons, and at the end there's a skeleton boss, and once you kill him you get a skull which you go and you sell and you make money that way. Those are extremely repetitive and really easy. They present no challenge even if you're on your own. And the only enemy you have to face are the skeletons. There's really nothing else. There's some snakes on islands, but you barely even notice them. Really the only enemy in this game is a couple different kinds of skeletons, but they are essentially the same thing. And then you have the merchant quest where you go out and you capture animals and you bring them back and you sell them. That was the most boring. I've done like one of them. I stayed the heck away from them because they're just not fun. You get those quests, you put them on your ship, your team votes for them, and you go out, you set sail, and you go to complete those. Now, it's what happens on the way to those quests or during those quests or around those quests that I find really exhilarating and actually really fun. And it's usually the stuff that involves the other players. There's some other things that don't involve players, like sunken ships. You'll see birds floating overhead. You can dive down and get treasure off those ships. I really like doing those. I usually get a lot of gold from them, and I just like exploring sunken wrecks. You have the Kraken, which in my 30 hours of playing, I've only stumbled upon twice, so that adds a lot of thrill to when it actually happens. And one time it happened, we had a ton of loot aboard, so you really don't want to go down to the Kraken. You try really hard to fight that thing off or escape it. I like that aspect a lot. There was one time we were in a really big ship battle, we were chasing a ship down, and all the ships involved got caught in the Kraken, and seeing the other ships go down as you try and fight it off yourself, it gets really intense. But as I said, it's the other players and the interaction in the world that makes it fun. Like, there's been times where we've had a ton of treasure aboard our ship and we've all jumped off onto an island to dig for more, and when we got back we found other pirates on our ship stealing our loot. And then we got to kill them and we got to chase down their ship to get our stuff back. The biggest adventure story arc that I went on with other players spanned about 4 hours of my life, and it was one of the most craziest things that I'll try and sum up really quickly. There are raids in this game marked by a giant skull in the sky, and at those raids you kill a ton of skeletons, and then at the end there's about $10,000 worth of gold, and that is a lot of money. That's a lot of hours of pirating in other ways to get that much money. So you really want to be the one that defeats the skeleton boss, gets the key and gets all the loot with your crew, and take it all the way back to an outpost and sell it. So of course, in a populated world, you're gonna have a ton of ships flocking to this place, trying to kill each other, be the last ship standing to quickly go on board and kill everything and take the treasure. In one of these instances, my crew and I kept going to this island, blowing up a ton of ships, being sunk ourselves, respawning somewhere else, going in, blowing up a ton more ships. We finally set foot on the island and tried killing a few things. Someone else came along, killed us, took what we thought took the treasure and left. We chased them down for about half an hour. We had them jumping off their ship, jumping on our ship, dropping our anchor so that we stopped following them. It was really frustrating. But when they were on our ship, we could hear what they were saying, and we actually found out they didn't have the treasure, they had the key, which means they didn't actually open the treasure yet. So we went back to that island and hung out with another group of players waiting for them to come back with the key. We made an agreement with these guys that we would split the loot in half if we took down the other players when they came back. The players with the key were circling the island waiting for us to leave so they could come back. So we went out to get them. We got caught by the Kraken, which sucked. And in the time we were fighting the Kraken, they came back to the island, loaded up with the loot and left. So we got out of the Kraken, chased them for over an hour trying to get this loot. We finally almost catch up to them at an outpost. And at that point we realized they had been passing a ton of outposts. And we kept thinking, this is the one they're going to stop at. They're going to sell the loot here because they had to stop at one to sell everything. The gold means nothing unless you can sell it. They went right past that outpost and kept going, which was about the 10th time they'd done that in the last hour. And that's when I had realized, I had the thought, hey guys, there's two of them. What if one of them was grabbing the treasure every time they reached an outpost, jumping off and selling it? And sure enough, that's what they had been doing. Every time they passed an outpost, they were selling the treasure bit by bit. At that point, it really wasn't worth it anymore because we didn't know how much treasure they had. But just the fact that that spanned 4 hours, and if we had actually managed to get that treasure, it would have been an amazing feeling. But at the same time, you have to put yourself in their shoes. They had been chased for this treasure for 4 hours, and they come up with this brilliant idea of what if we just sail past the outpost and sell it bit by bit. They had that victory that we wanted, but that's still an amazing feeling for them and just a journey for everyone involved. Me and my friend became friends with the pirates that were helping us try and take these guys down, and we've been playing with them ever since. And for me, it's things like that, it's moments like that, it's interacting with the other players and creating your own fun. But I can definitely see the drawbacks in the fact there is little to do other than making your own fun, and you shouldn't have to make your own fun. I do feel like that was the mindset behind the developers' thinking though. It was, let's give them this world where we'll put some things in for them to do, but along the way of doing those simple tasks, they're gonna have so much fun on their own. It's the stories the players create for themselves, not the stories that we can give people. We could give people these intricate quests, or we could let them have their own fun. And I think that was the mindset going into that. And it works brilliantly for someone like me, but for people with not as much of a crazy imagination as me, it's definitely empty. Or people that don't want to play with other players, there's definitely little to nothing to do. And even at its best, when I'm having the most fun I can have with the game, interacting with other players, I still feel that feeling of it's all for naught. I'm having fun, but with no progression, no leveling up, nowhere to go, nothing to aim for. It all amounts to absolutely nothing. And after long stretches of gameplay, that definitely gets to me. And I can't see me playing this game for too much more. I've put 30 hours into it, which is more than most games that I get. So I definitely feel like I would have got my money's worth. Even if I paid 60, I would still feel sour, but I would have got my money's worth. And I'm looking forward to diving back into it when they flesh it out more and they add more things to it. The potential here is amazing. I'd also recommend taking a lot of what I say with a pinch of salt, because while I adore this game and I love this game, it's definitely a personal thing. I have always adored pirates and loved pirating. When I was a kid, I had these pirate games. One of them was Pirates of the Caribbean Black Pearl themed, and they were games where you had a pirate ship and you could buy upgrades, you could go out, you could blow up other ships. And as a young kid, I put hours and hours into that game. And I always wanted something like that. I always craved pirate games and they never came along. Assassin's Creed 4 added a pirate theme and I loved it. And for what it was an amazing pirate game. And I have such high hopes for Skull and Bones, a game that's created by Ubisoft on the back of that Assassin's Creed mechanic. And that's the one I've really been looking forward to. And I really didn't care much for Sea of Thieves. I never was even gonna pick it up. The only reason I did was because I could play it for free. And it definitely is filling that void of a pirate game I've always wanted. Something I haven't talked about, it is beautiful. I have an Xbox One X, which I've talked about before, on a 4K TV, and holy moly, it is just absolutely gorgeous. The water effects, the way the light shines through that water, it is crazy realistic and so soothing, especially with the sounds. The sound design in this game is incredible. The sound of the ocean, the sound when you're standing on an island and the waves hitting the island, hitting rocks, the sound of the rain, of the storms, of the thunderstorms. There are times where I have literally loaded up this game and just stood on an outpost or stood on my ship and just listened to the ocean. All up, it was a very ambitious game, which you can tell was definitely a passion project and had a ton of love put into it. It's a Rare game, and while Rare has very much changed since the N64 days, not only from games, but to the actual staff and crew, at the same time, it feels like an N64 Rare game. It feels like that nice, simplistic, bright, colorful looking game where you just go around collecting things. It really does feel like an old school Rare game for me. It feels like a game that would fit on the Nintendo 64 if it didn't look and sound as amazing. But it does feel very empty now in 2018 as far as things to do. If nothing else, people need progression. You could give me this game exactly how it is and give me a level progression system with something, just something to look forward to, something to unlock, something that changes the game for me as I play, even if it's little, just something to make me feel like I'm playing for a reason other than saving up for outrageously expensive cosmetic parts for my ship. And that was the main reason I wanted to make this video, for two reasons. One, I know there are so many people out there watching this that don't know they could play it for free, or at least pay it for $10 if they've used a Game Pass already, both on Xbox and PC. So I wanted to put that out there. At least try it for yourself if you haven't and you didn't know that you could. And another reason I wanted to make this video was just to shed my experiences and the things that I love about it, because I see so much hate for it, and I don't like that it's compared to No Man's Sky, because when No Man's Sky gave us so many false promises and didn't deliver on any of them, Sea of Thieves didn't do that. They told us they were making a pirate ship game where you could play with your friends, and that's exactly what they gave us. And I'm definitely going to keep up the Game Pass for a while just so I can keep playing, and I'm excited to see where the game goes in the future. I'll probably keep loading this game up and standing at an outpost just to hear the rain and the waves crash against the rocks. That's my video on Sea of Thieves. I know it's late. I've been really sick. I'm still pretty sick. I've been coughing throughout making this video. I probably should have waited another day, but I didn't want to wait any longer to finally get this video out. I have a lot of catching up on videos to do, so I hope you guys stick around and subscribe if you haven't already. Like this video because I appreciate it. Leave a comment down below with what you think of Sea of Thieves. If you hate it, that's absolutely fine. A lot of people do. Let me know the reason why down below. Don't just say I hate it, although I'm sure a ton of you will, especially now that I've said this. That's what I'm talking about. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Maybe I have scurvy. I will say this shirt really stinks. I don't know where it came from. I found it in the depths of my drawer, and since I've been filming, I've been sweating in it, and the smell has come out even more, and it smells like a dead skunk. I'm gonna go throw this away now.